Felix Ofosu Kwakye strike. Na this time around no, or strike o obi ni Omanhene so. Na ye nyina nim say last week na obi ni Omanhene kwatena Asempa FM ye kosi sen show ne so. Eno mo de kwatu dwa say eye audit report bi aba abonte e kire say National Cathedral na Ghana fo nyina nim say eye President Akufo-Addo ni MP before spending over $53 million na di to just the foundation no. Boni bi anim na audit report ne kire say sika bi obi andi sika wom, and they went ahead and attack Okudjato Ablakwa say what tarnish Reverend Kwesi Boateng image, because all this one IMPP were opposition, NDC were opposition, and some NDC by winning the 2024 general election. Okudjato Ablakwa the biana or attacking Reverend Kwesi Boateng says sika koso, any other board of trustee ne says sika koso, but audit report ne ba abonten says sika bian koso. Until they went ahead attack Okudjato Ablakwa, may almost a bold statement to say obi andi sika wom. The following day and Felix Ofosu Kwakye organize a press conference and what church says sika koso audit the real audit report ne to abonten audit report ne ba abonten no say just $53 million no the two foundation and 98 million. Now no na Felix Ofosu Kwakye say you very disappointed e wo obi ene Omanhene, even in fact omo very ignorant. Mumi nkotie and some Felix Ofosu Kwakye di to dwa our reply to that fake news na your friend saying obi no Omanhene e di to dwa last week e was Empire FM no. Mumi nkotie
to offer some clarifications even before I delve into the report. First of all, this Deloitte and Touche report was not commissioned by the government of Ghana. So when I speak about forensic audit, there are some who have said, oh, if government has commissioned audit already, why do you want another forensic audit? No. This was commissioned by the National Secretariat, the National Cathedral Secretariat itself.
Oh, I see.
Yes. So even that alone raises, it is purely for internal consumption. It is allowed. They can pick them as the auditors. It is standard. I'm sure you have auditors who are this. But the government of Ghana has not done anything of the sort. Number two, let me also clarify that no decision has been taken to convert the National Cathedral into a convention center or a cultural center. The 24-hour Economic Secretariat, as part of their engagement, they received a proposal from an organization. It's actually a continental body, who said that if they were minded, they could invest some money into converting the sites into their offices and then build a convention center for government or the state. That's what the proposal is. But it is not a decision that government has taken.
Okay.
That must be put on record. I heard that people had said that we had made a U-turn, and I can assure you that indication I have is that the president is committed to the position he took in opposition about the future of this. But we can only go into that after a forensic audit has become available and we have all the facts. Now, what had happened was that I think sometime last week or early this week, some MPP personalities began to make claims that there has been an audit which has exonerated the Board of Trustees and, if you like, the National Cathedral Secretariat. They didn't publish the report. They only put out snippets and sought to create a certain impression. But this is not a report commissioned by government. But as government, we have it. Because the local government minister who has jurisdiction over these matters requested for copies of the report, and he was served. Now, if you look into this report, there's nothing that exonerates anybody. It's what has happened. It's a mischievous conflation of financial statements or audit of financial statements with an audit of the project. So, TV3, you have auditors. Every year you publish your financial statement. So the law requires you to file audited financial statements. So the financial statement simply, indeed, if you look at the, let me take the tweet, and I have all the reports here, including the financial statements.
I see.
And the management letter, and I'll come to that. So if you pick this one, December 2022, if you go to the table of contents, corporate information, report of the directors, statement of directors' responsibilities, independent auditors report on the financial statement, statement of financial performance, statement of financial position, statement of changes in net assets equity, statement of cash flows, notes to the financial statement. So you present the financial statement. The reason why it has to be audited is so that you don't make what they call misstatements
Right.
So, for instance, you say that, oh, TV3, you bought a car for your operations, $100,000. You will present a receipt. You will list it as part of your assets. When the auditor comes and you show him the receipt, he says, okay, yes, you've stated it correctly. That is entirely separate from looking into whether the vehicle actually cost $100,000.
Right.
That one will come in a management report. You understand me? So all the financial statements that the likes of Kingsley, what do you call it? Nyako, is that the name? The MP for Oda was putting out, did not capture the essence of the findings.
Right.
If you want to see what has happened, you look at the management letter. In fact, before I go there, even this report, if you look at page 10 of the 2022 report, for instance, the auditors disavow the information that was provided them. Let me read portions of it to you. If you look at point 3, it says the company's statement of financial position and statement of financial performance are not in agreement with the accounting records and returns for some sections as noted in the basis of disclaimer of opinion section. But this is harmless information. If you want to know the meat, you go to the management letter. Let me read you the cover letter that transmitted this report to the cathedral, not government. It says management letter of National Cathedral of Ghana for the years ended 31st December 2021 to 31st December 2022 and 31st December 2023. We have completed the audit of National Cathedral of Ghana, which was conducted in accordance with international standards on auditing, into brackets ISEs. Those standards require that we plan and perform the audit to obtain reasonable assurance that the annual financial statements are free of material misstatements, but not for the purpose of expressing an opinion on the effectiveness of the entity's internal control. An audit is conducted to enable us form and express an opinion on the financial statements that have been prepared by management with the oversight of the board. The audit of the financial statements does not relieve management or the board of their responsibilities. So the mere audit of the financial statement itself doesn't mean that there was no wrongdoing. It only says there are no misstatements. At least the figures we gave us, they tally. However, if you look at the details of the management letter, the management letter allows the auditor to point out flaws and shortcomings and irregularities and non-compliance with regulation. And after all the while that we were in opposition, these were the things that we were complaining about. When Honorable Blackwood waged his campaign, he put out evidence of procurement breaches, of financial irregularities, of payments that are not explained. These are the same things that this management letter points to. This morning, I have seen a letter put out by the National Cathedral Secretariat, which, by the way, as of 1st May, has been scrapped. In fact, the payment of salaries to the staff of that secretariat, which used to be at the Flagstaff House, was stopped on 29th April 2025. So they have not, in fact, since we came to power, nobody has showed up as a staff of the National Secretariat. So they don't exist. If you come to the Flagstaff House, there's no unit there called National Secretariat. So that must be put on.
Okay, so since you came to power, none of them.
None of
them. So why were you paying? Why did you pay them in January, February?
No,
March?
but they drew salary because they needed to find out what was happening. So the moment we noticed, we stopped it. And the local government minister wrote to us. But that's a matter that you can look into later.
Indeed.
No. For the secretariat itself. But you see, the board of trustees, because they are incorporated by limited guarantee, you have to go through legal processes to be able to. So, and
they didn't have funding. If they had funding, you couldn't have stopped.
Exactly.
So
the Attorney General will trigger the processes to ensure. But you see, they claim in their statements that we have merely published management letters and that we have conveniently ignored their responses. You see, they create the impression that a management letter is an audit query. So when they are doing the audit, they will come and ask you, after this your heart, you say you bought it 2 CDs, but we found out that it was 1 CD. What is your response? That is an audit query. But in a management letter, yes, you said you bought it 2 CDs, but it's 1 CD. Then you come and explain that, no, I bought it for 2 CDs. Okay, where is the receipt? If you provide the receipt, they will say that, oh, it is fully explained. If you don't provide, they will say that you were not able to show evidence. So that stands as an irregularity. Now let me come to you. I'm going to read to you verbatim, and I plead with you to allow me, so that light is shed. There's too much ignorance, falsehood, and propaganda going on. So I'm going to read you about 4 to 5 pages. It will be quick. You understand me? To show you the importance of this management letter and what it exposes. For instance, one of the issues that they detected was that the total consultancy fees paid to the architect, which is Ajayi and Associates, Now, the office of the president was the one that procured Ajayi without going through any procurement process, by the way, which is a breach of the law. Because these are public funds. Even though they were limited by guarantee, once public funds go in there, they must go through due process. They didn't go through due process. The office of the president says they paid 113 million Ghana cedis. David Ajayi says they paid 117.9 million Ghana cedis. So there's a difference of 4.9 million. Now, the management response, this is what the National Cathedral told the auditors. Ajayi Associates confirmed that total consultancy fees paid to it is 113 million Ghana cedis. Now, Deloitte's response to this claim, and I'm going to read it to you, they say, as part of our audit procedures, we received responses to our confirmation from both the Office of the President on March 26, 2024, and also from Sir David Ajayi and Associates, also on 20th May 2024. A detailed review of their responses is highlighted on Appendix 1 on page 60 to 61, and we've put out this audit report. If you go to page 60 and 61, they put out documents that they received from the Office of the President and Ajayi and Associates. They say that these documents confirm that it was 117.9 million that was paid to the Office of the President. And they even break down the payments. One was 87.9 million, the other was 29.6 million, and another 369,000 Ghana cedis. If you put together, it is 117.9 million Ghana cedis. Yet, the cathedral, without providing any documentation or proof, says Ajayi confirmed receiving 130. How did they do that confirmation? So to merely say that your responses were taken, and it's not being published, does not mean that you have answered the matter satisfactorily. I'll go to another point, where they raise the issue of the total contract sum. So contract amount to the contractor. It says, we also noted differences regarding the contract amount, excluding tax and levies, for Ribadi JV, contractor of the project, during our audit work. Below are the variances. Amount per executed agreement, that is the agreement that the National Cathedral entered into with the contractor, was $261.965 million. Now, the Office of the President says that the contract sum was $286.465 million. Now, in August 2024, there was a progress report produced by the cathedral itself, which says the contract sum was $268.5 million. Now, when the contractor raised interim payment certificates to the finance minister to pay, they quoted a contract sum of $283.23 million. Now, the management responded. The contract value, as per, they responded to the query, and it is captured in the manual letters. The contract value, as per the executed agreement between the National Cathedral Board and Ribadi, is $261.965 million. Now, listen to Deloitte's response. Deloitte has not received any additional information, clarification from management, as at the date of signing of the audit reports, to enable reconciliation of the different contract amounts above to the finance charges and interest management stated in their response. So they did respond, but it's not satisfactory. They didn't provide any evidence to refute this finding. I'll give you another one. Now, differences in mobilization fees. It's point 1.4. Observation. This is what the auditors found. During the audit, we noted the following inaccuracies concerning the actual fees paid to consultants as mobilization fees, quote unquote. Details. Confirmation response from the Office of the President. They said the amount paid was $89,000. Letter from Sir David Ajayi and Associates on 13th August 2020. They said they were paid $950,000. So the difference is $861,000. Now, what was the response of government? The contract was signed between the Office of the President and Ajayi Associates. The board and Secretariat are not privy to official communication explaining the variation in the mobilization amount. How is this a response to this variation? So what did Deloitte say? Based on Appendix C, free payment schedule on page 47 of the contract dated 20th August 2019 between the government of Ghana and Sir David Ajayi and Associates Limited, the mobilization amount captured therein is $1.5 million. Management has also not provided the appropriate audit evidence for us to verify which of the two amounts is correct. Then finally, the final illustration. Now, there's also the issue of additional works that was done. Additional work not captured in, so you sign a contract, you want to do additional work, you don't make provision for that additional work in the contract or through an addendum. We noted that the expenses listed below were incurred by Sir David Ajayi and Associates for variation order 1, 2, and 3. The cost incurred was for design variation involving 350-seater restaurant, museum extension, and Bible museum fit-out, and biblical gardens infrastructure. Below are the details of the various costs. So they list all the costs. Now, management did respond. Now, listen to the response of Deloitte to the response of management. Management shared the agreements for the variations 1 and 2 with us following our view. We noted the following. The original signed contract states on paragraph 5, and they state what it captures. Variation orders 1 and 2 has only been signed by Dr. Paul Opoku Mensah and not both parties as required. See Appendix 4 on page 70, and they provide evidence of this.
Right.
So, this claim that their responses were not factored in is immaterial. The auditors have made damning findings, but the reason why this one cannot be taken anywhere is that they are internal auditors. Again, they also don't explain how the discrepancies have arisen. So it is only a forensic audit. And you see, people have said, oh, Deloitte and Touch is an international organization, so they are superior to the Auditor General of Ghana. That is the height of ignorance.
Oh, no.
The Auditor General is by law required to look into every public expenditure.
Yes.
They are also mandated to ask any partners that they find to conduct a forensic audit. So it is entirely possible that they will ask Deloitte to do the forensic audit. Now, what the forensic audit will do is that they will find out why the variations have occurred, where the money went. And the Auditor General has power to search it, like Domenovo was doing, and recommend further action. When they do that, it will come to Parliament. So the Public Accounts Committee will look at it, and then they will recommend prosecution or some action. Let me also state that even as this audit is going on, the National Investigation Bureau, IOCO, and others are all also probing the National Cathedral. So let me tell you what President Mama says should be done. I was talking to you about the scrapping of the National Secretariat. It doesn't exist. The Board of Trustees will be dissolved using legal procedure because they are limited by guarantee. Number 3, the President asked that this report be published. So yesterday, the moment I finished the briefing, I gave it to all the media people, and I noticed that you've published it. So everybody listening to me can go and read it.
They said, where is the full one?
This is the full one. This is the full report.
The one that came, it doesn't have the actual accounts. They say they don't want to leave the
No. This, you see, there are financial. I have 4 of them.
But only one. We saw the management report.
Yes.
But the accounts itself.
Which accounts?
There's nothing.
No, there's nothing here. These are only financial statements. That's it.
That one.
That one too. In fact, that one too has been put out. In fact, that one the MPP has actually put it out. I can give the copies. It's not a problem at all. But that doesn't disclose anything.
Yeah,
it doesn't disclose
want
anything.
to read that one. They
No
say
problem.
they want to
I can give this to you when I'm leaving. It doesn't disclose anything. If you want to find out what findings they made, it is this one.
They say they want the financial account.
But that one, the MPP itself has put it out. The National Cathedral Secretariat, they commissioned it. It was presented to them. It was addressed to them. They can put it out. You understand me? But the President also says that, you see, it is true that Deloitte has done this. They pointed out wrongdoing. But it is not forensic. They don't find out why this has happened and what sanctions should be applied. It is a forensic audit that can determine that. And that's why the President says that the Attorney General, the Finance Minister, and the Auditor General should immediately band together and commission a forensic audit so that they will look at, so that when you say that this your heart was 1 CD or 2 CDs, but we saw that it was 1 CD. We won't leave at that. We will check with the person you bought it from what went wrong to allow for that discrepancy of 1 CD. And then we determine that you've engaged in criminality. So such and such sanctions should be applied to you. So Alfred, I beg you, and the reason why I'm calling on you is that you are the media. Don't allow people who support dissipation of public funds, who support, why? How can anybody, an MP, worth a sword, publicly defend violation? Indeed, if you check one of the pages here, the auditors list 15 violations of our procurement law. 15 violations of our procurement law. How does an MP who sits in Parliament endorse this violation and say that people have been cleared? And indeed, I'm also very disappointed in some media practitioners who exhibited shocking levels of ignorance. I want to rule out mischief, but it was shocking that they actually went on national television and claimed that people had been exonerated because the National Cathedral Secretariat issued a statement after they selectively put out the financial statements, which disclose nothing.
So it is the management report.
And indeed, you see, I have been following. Let me tell you something. Since I became actively involved in politics, one of the first things I did was to join the CGA. we took it upon ourselves to review the Auditor General's report annually. The Auditor General, when he does a report, they send what they call management letters to the entities involved. That is where they raise the issues and then make recommendations on how to resolve some of the weaknesses that they have determined. So if you read an audit report without going for the management letter, you are wasting your time.
Okay. You see,
the management letter without the...
It is not a problem. I'm saying that one, those who are saying that they have the what do you call it, the financial statements already.
You see,
but compare it to the management report and see.
So, but then again, I can understand the points that you see